Hi everyone, my name is Lo Yihui, matrix number BP21110253. I would like to present the topics related to consumerism. In this presentation, I will discuss about the issue or problem related to consumerism, the factor that contributed, the impact, and also the problem solution regarding psychological perspective. Consumerism comes from the words consume, while people who consume are consumer, such as me. So we perform consume action every single day. We buy our daily necessities such as food, drinks, clothes, and we pay for our house rental and also car petrol. Besides, we also pay for what we want. For example, phone, earpods, iPad, laptop, cosmetics, and etc. On top of that, we also pay for our entertainment and leisure, such as we go to traveling and also gaming stuff. So consumerism refers to a social and economic order that encourage the acquisition of goods and service ever increasing amounts. When we discuss about consumerism, the first thing that comes to our mind is it is a cultural and economic phenomenon where the emphasis is placed on the buying and consumption of goods as a means of achieving personal satisfaction, status, and also happiness. In consumerist societies, individuals often define themselves and their success by the quantity and quality of their material possession. Consumerism also consists of consumer psychology, which study about human response to the product and also service-related information and experience. This ideology is closely tied to the idea that economic growth and prosperity are driven by increased consumption. So advertisement and marketing play a significant role in promoting consumerism by creating desires for new products and fostering a culture of constant consumption. I'm going to discuss issues that related to consumerism is overconsumption. Overconsumption refers to the excessive and often unnecessary utilization or acquisition of goods, services, or resource beyond what is essential for a reasonable standard of living. It is characterized by a pattern of consumption that surpass genuine needs or sustainable levels, leading to various economics, environmental, and also social consequences. The pervasive ideology that equates happiness and fulfillment with the acquisition of material possession contribute to overconsumption. Consumerism promotes the idea that buying more and having the latest product leads to a better life. Overconsumption can manifest in different forms, such as buying more products than necessary, using resources at an unsustainable rate, or generating excessive waste. This behavior is often driven by factors such as consumerism, materialism, and the pursuit of instant gratification, contributing to challenges such as resources depletion, environmental degradation, and also economic imbalance. The most significant product under consumerism is clothes. In our wardrobe, we have different kinds of clothes. We have t-shirts, we have sportswear, casual wear, leisure wear, and also formal wear. But we still think that it is not enough. Like me, I always think that I'm always lack of shirt to wear. So there's quote says that there is always one less piece of clothing in a woman's wardrobe. So we are constantly following fashions, watching online bloggers teaching us to style in different season, different time period also, or we are engaging in different events. So this lead to overconsumption of clothes. Next is the electronic gadgets. We all now living in a modern technology era. So having two or more gadgets is a norm for people. For example, like university students, we must equip with laptops or maybe tablets in order to handle our assignment tasks. So, for example, in this market, we have the phone brands, we have a lot of choices. For example, like iPhone, Samsung, Huawei, OnePlus, Redmi, Xiaomi, Poco, and many more. And for laptop, we have RGB, HP, Acer, Lenovo, and also Asus. So each model have different spec and different purpose. Moreover, they will also form their own ecosystem. For example, Apple companies claims that if you use iPhone, iMac, iPad, and also iWatch and AirPod as well together, so you will maximize your work performance. So we have to get different type of gadgets so that we are able to handle our tasks. On top of that, the new product released every single year only have a little more function than the last one, just like squeezing out the toothpaste and pumping it out little by little. As a result, consumers have no choice but have to buy the new product in order to get the latest technology. Next, we will move to the factors that contributed to overconsumption. Firstly is the cultural influences. Cultural norms and society values that shape attitudes towards consumption. In cultural that emphasize material wealth and possession as a marker of success or happiness, individuals may be more prone to overconsumption. Individual psychological factors such as pursuit, the instant gratification, emotional fulfillment through shopping, and the desire for novelty can also contribute to the overconsumption. Next is advertising and marketing. The persuasive techniques employed by the advertiser and marketers play a significant role in stimulating consumer desire and creating a perceived need for certain products. Aggressive advertising can contribute to the culture of overconsumption by fostering a constant desire for a new and often unnecessary goods. Thirdly is the peer pressure and social comparison. Social dynamics and the desire to fit in or keep up with peers can drive to overconsumption. People may feel pressure or to their own certain items or engage in certain lifestyle to be socially accepted or perceived as successful. Some individuals may engage in overconsumption due to lack of awareness about environmental and also the social impact of their choice. For example, when you saw your neighbors having a new car, you will feel like you also wanted a new car. So even that you already have your own car, but the desire to have a new car getting strong when your neighbor is having a new car. Sometimes the peer pressure or the environmental influences will be higher than the advertisement. Number four is technological advance. Rapid technological advancement contribute to the desire for the latest gadgets and device, leading to a culture of frequent updates and also replacement. For example, there are some occupation, they really need the latest information and the latest technology, so in order to cope with their work performance. And next is the globalization. Globalization enhance the interconnect global economy, allows for the mass production and also distributed for the goods, making a wide variety of product accessible to the consumers. So this abundance can contribute to overconsumption as people are exposed to a constant stream of a new products. For example, nowadays we can shop not only physically, not only shop in the mall, but we can also shop through our phone. There are some platforms such as Shopee, Lazada, Taobao, and many else. So through this platform, we can as a consumer, we are able to access through the others products from others country. Moreover, the delivery system is much advanced, so we can shopping through our phone and then we just click make a payment and we wait for maybe 1 week or 2 or 3 days, the product will reach to our doorstep. So this makes our shopping experience more easy, and this will also lead to overconsumption, as we will shop for too much products without our notice, because it is too simple to get things from online. The last one is the planned obsolescence, which this will cause to the overconsumption. The manufacturers design product with a limited lifespan, also known as planned obsolescence, can contribute to overconsumption. This is because when the manufacturer create a product with a shorter lifespan, so he can sell the product maybe every single maybe after 3 months the consumer have to buy for a new product. Thus the sales of the product will be increased. When the products become obsolete or are designed to wear out quickly, so this encourage the consumer to replace them more frequently. But this will lead to the overconsumption, and also the over overconsumption, and also leads to the excessive garbage. More waste are created if they are not handled properly. After we talk about the factors that contribute to overconsumption, we will discuss about the impacts of overconsumption. The first one is environmental degradation, which included resource depletion, deforestation, pollution, and also climate change. Overconsumption contributes to the depletion of natural resources, including minerals, fossil fuels, and water. The demand of exceed the Earth's capacity to regenerate these resources. Next, deforestation. The need for land and raw materials to meet consumption demands leads to deforestation, which not only contribute to habitat loss but also release stored carbon into the atmosphere. Thirdly is the pollution. The production, use, and also the disposal of goods associated with overconsumption result in pollution. This includes air and water pollution from industrial processes and the accumulation of non-biodegradable waste. Lastly is the climate change. The extraction, manufacturing, and transportation processes associated with overconsumption contribute to greenhouse gas emission, accelerating climate change. Next, it also increased the demand for energy, often derived from the fossil fuels, further intensified the carbon footprint. Next, overconsumption can also lead to psychological impacts, anxiety, depression, and even addiction, as individuals are constantly seeking for the next purchase to satisfy their desire for more. The constant bombardment of advertisement and societal pressure to consume can create a vicious cycle of never feeling satisfied, leading to a feeling of emptiness and inadequacy. Stress and anxiety. Overconsumption can lead to anxiety and stress, as individuals may feel overwhelmed by the number of choices available for them. The pressure to keep up with the latest trend and constantly upgrade possession can create a sense of anxiety and stress, making it difficult to make decisions and prioritize their needs. Depression. Overconsumption can also lead to depression, such as individuals may feel a sense of emptiness and lack of purpose. The constant desire for more and more can create a feeling of never being satisfied, leading to a sense of hopelessness and sadness. Thirdly is the addiction. Overconsumption can lead to addiction, as individuals may become reliant on the rush of the dopamine that comes from making a purchase. Kaching! This will increase the dopamine and they will seek for this desire. This can lead to a cycle of constantly seeking the next high, leading to financial problems and also other negative consequences. The fourth is comparison and envy. Overconsumption can also lead to social comparison and envy is and social comparison and envy as individuals compare themselves to others and feel inadequate if they do not have the same possessions. This can create a sense of social isolation and low self-esteem. Besides that, overconsumption can lead to economic disparities. Overconsumption can exacerbate social inequalities. Those with greater purchasing power have access to a wider array of goods and services, while others may struggle to meet their basic needs. For example, only foods, drinks, shelter. The pursuit of a consumer-driven lifestyle can contribute to a social stratification, creating a disparities in opportunity and also quality of life. On top of that, overconsumption may also lead to materialism and also well-being. Consumerism promotes the idea that happiness and success are linked to the possession of material goods. This can lead to a materialistic mindset where individuals may prioritizing the accumulation of possession over more fulfilling and sustainable sources of well-being. Last one, overconsumption will lead to impulsive buying and debt. Consumerism often encourages spending beyond one's means, leading to increased reliance on credits. This can contribute to personal debt issues and financially instability for individuals and also their family. By addressing overconsumption through a psychological lens, intervention can focus on changing attitudes, beliefs, and habits that drive excessive consumption. Combining psychological strategies with broader societal initiatives can contribute to a more sustainable and mindful approaches to consumption. A, a comprehensive framework called SHIFT shifts to encourage sustainable consumer behavior. The framework, the framework suggested that leveraging social influence, habit formation, individual self, feelings and cognition and tangibility can motivate consumers to engage in a pro-environmental behaviors. Firstly, social norms or belief about what is socially appropriate and approved in a given context can have a powerful influence on sustainable consumer behavior. The consumerism idealism is become a norm nowadays due to the advertisement and marketing fostering. In order to reduce the consumption, first thing first is to get consumer out of these dilemmas by providing knowledge to let them realize that they are having something might not be so necessary. Next, H stands for habits. Habits refers to the behaviors that persist because they have become relatively automatic as times over as a result of regularly encounter contextual cues. Integrate therapeutic approaches such as cognitive behavior therapy (CBT) to help individuals to explore and modify their thoughts, patterns, and behavior related to consumption. Therapists can work with clients to identify underlying motivation and develop healthier coping mechanisms. To distinguish the behavior, techniques such as prompt and penalty, or we known as the positive enhancement and also the negative punishment, can be used. Try to make the steps small and simple so that people can make it easily and more willingly to take a step forward. Moreover, a feedback is also important after progress. Thirdly, I stands for individual self. The self-concept individuals desire to maintain positive self-views and can reaffirm the positivity of the self-concept through consumption. The self-concept relates to sustainable behaviors in that the possession people own can become extension of their identity. One way this sense of extended self manifests is that people can be unwillingly to part with possessions that are linked to the self because of a self of identity loss. Thus, positively associating sustainable behavior with the self-concept and buffering against self-threatening information can be critical for sustainable behavior. For example, affirmation or the endorsement of important self-values mitigates self-protective responses and leads to a greater endorsement of sustainable actions. Next is self-consistency. In addition to wanting to see the self in a positive light, people want to see themselves or engaging in a sustainable behavior at one time point often leads to consistent sustainable behavior in the future. Those who felt that in the end sustainability goal was unimportant were less motivated to pursue the end goal when they are unable to achieve sub-goals. Moreover, self-efficacy. According to Bandura 1977, self-efficacy involve belief that the individual can engage in the required action and that carrying out from the behavior will have the intended impact. Consumers' feelings of efficacy and their sustainable attitudes, as well as their tendency to continue to enact sustainable behavior over time. F refers to feelings and cognition. Consumers often consider the negative emotional consequences of either engaging or not engaging in sustainable behaviors. Generally speaking, it is important to avoid creating negative emotional states that are too intense. Instead, more subtle activation of negative emotions can be effective. Guilt. Guilt can be influence sustainable intention and behaviors. This is largely due to the consumer assuming individual responsibility for the unsustainable outcome, leading people to feel more morally responsible for the environment. Anticipated guilt is more effective at encouraging sustainable behavior when consumers are subtle asked to consider their own self-standards of behavior rather than when they are exposed to explicit guilt appeals which can backfire. Next is positive emotion. Consumers are more inclined to engage in pro-environmental actions when they are derived from hedonic pleasure or positive effect from the behavior. Positive emotions such as joy and pride have been shown to influence consumer intention to decrease the plastic water bottle usage and optimism that can motivate the maintenance of sustainable behavior over time. On the other hand, research suggests that positive emotion can work to negatively impact sustainable consumer behavior. For example, unsustainable unsustainable action such as driving gas-powered automobile are linked to positive affective benefits. The role of specific positive emotion such as pride in determining sustainable consumer behavior is also relevant. Those who feel a sense of pride have been shown to be more likely to subsequently engage in sustainable behavior, in part because of pride enhanced feelings of effectiveness. Finally, positive environment action can lead to feelings of hope, which can increase climate activism and also sustainable behaviors. Providing information through appeals that highlight why the desired behavior or product is sustainable can be effective in giving consumers the initial knowledge they need regarding action and consequences. Eco-labeling is one means of conveying information about the sustainable attributes of a product. It has been suggested that eco-labels would be more effective if they were contrasted against negative labels that highlight products with environmental harmful attributes. Lastly, T stands for tangible. Matching temporal focus, one unique facet of sustainable consumption is that eco-friendly action and outcomes can seem abstract, vague, and distant from themselves. However, pro-environmental outcomes are difficult to track and measures because changes emerge slowly over time and uncertainty surrounds problem and their solution. So, asking individuals to focus on the future generation can reduce present focus bias and also prompting the consideration of legacy increase sustainable choice. Next is communicate local and proximal impacts. Communication that related to immediate consequences of pro-environmental behavior for a given city, region, or neighborhood can make environmental action and outcomes seems more tangible and relevant. Thirdly is concrete communication. Third, another way to tackle intangibility is to make sustainability issues more relevant and concrete for the self. This can be done by communicating the immediate impacts of environmental problems such as climate change and outlining a clear step to make a difference. Fourth, encourage the desire for intangibles. A moving forward moving toward more sustainable consumption is to promote the materialization, in which consumers decrease emphasis on the possession of tangible goods. This could include consumption of experience, digital products, and etc. This is consistent with the notion that marketing is evolving to become more focused on the provision of the service, intangible resources, and the co-creation of the value. Trends such as sharing economy, with its ideal of collaborative consumption of either resources, and voluntary simplicity in which consumers simplify their lifestyle rather than focus on possession, indicates the consumer can fulfill their needs without the possession of tangible products being a focal goal. So that's all for me for the discussion about consumerism, issues about consumerism. Thank you for lending your ear.